This is Jermaine Wright, your LPC, and thank you for tuning in to Building Blocks for Mental Health, where I inspire you to build into becoming the best version of yourself, inspiring hopes and changing lives at www.jwcandc.com. What's up, people? What's up, family? So listen, as always, top of the food chain, top of the show. I need you to do what I want to say. Oh, I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm getting a little bit carried away. Well, let me slow down a little bit. First off, as always, I want to just always give thanks to my repeaters, my viewers. Thank you for continuing to check in. Thank you for continuing to share the message. For continuing to foster awareness as we try to empower the community and be the change that we want to see. Thank you for doing that. And to my first timers, yo, what's up? We in for a ride, yo. You in for some good information today. So thank you as well for checking in. And hey, to ensure that you are able to continue to check in, I need you to go on up at the top of that screen and I need you to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date, you can stay in the loop with all the helpful and useful content that's going to continue to be coming your way on this Building Blocks for Mental Health channel. So today, I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about something that I've been asked to talk about. So this is strictly my opinion, y'all. I don't know if it's factual or not, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the corruption that's been going on in the world, most notably with our leaders. So someone brought something to my attention, and he asked me to look into Tiffany Henyard and talk a little bit, give an opinion on it, as it relates to, people's mental health. And Tiffany Henyard, I don't know if you all are aware, Miss Henyard is the mayor of a small city in Chicago, or I think it's a small town in Chicago. It's about 24,000 residents. And, Tiffany, Miss Henyard has been accused of corruption. It's crazy, right? It's crazy some of the things, that are going on with our leaders. Miss Henyard has been, she's the mayor, and I think she holds another title as like a supervisor. Her salary is damn near $300,000 a year. So she gets paid pretty good, for this position that she holds. And Miss Henyard, has been accused of basically stealing, the taxpayer money, doing things like going on lavish vacations. She's doing things like funneling money. She's accused of doing things like funneling money to her charity. She's doing things. She's accused of doing things like purchasing vehicles, just all types of unethical and immoral things that a leader shouldn't do. And it's just wow. Like on one occasion, y'all, I don't know how old some of you are, because I got a really diverse base out here. So there's one video that I saw, like if you guys see it, it was on YouTube. And I think she was trying to get some extra money from city council. And she was frustrated with being denied access to some of the funds. So she allegedly, well, there's a video, but and I saw the video. Y'all can check it out and look it up on YouTube. But allegedly she was upset about being denied, because I ain't trying to get sued. So all this is alleged. This is all my opinion. Allegedly, she was upset about that. And in the video, it appears that she was dressed up like Nino Brown from New Jack City. Now, I did hear the audio that was playing, right? So this is what it looks like. It looks crazy. The music playing in the background. She's talking to the people, the different council members, and she tells the DJ to play "Bitch Better Have My Money" by Rihanna. And she's walking around on the microphone, chastising the people, telling these fellow council members that she needs to get paid, that they better have her money. So, regardless of what the situation is, my opinion of that is that, like, that's not the way you handle something, as a leader. I think when you're a leader, you have a responsibility, to handle things in a professional, diplomatic as possible, and intentional way. Well, I'm sure she was being intentional in that manner, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, a logical way, right? That is really congruent with ethical values. Not being ratchet, and not being nasty, not being petty. One of the things that I'm always thinking about too, and we're starting to see this, more and more often, in politics, is like, the people are being affected because these politicians, because their mental health isn't right, because they're too prideful, and they're too petty. They're letting these things impact the taxpayers because it's getting in the way of progress. So, as it relates to, some of the things that these leaders may be suffering with, it got me to really think about, like, how much are these issues that we're seeing with these leaders, possibly with Tiffany Henyard, how much of this is the result of people just being egotistical? How much of it is the result of, maybe some of the mental health diagnoses that we don't talk enough about, like things like narcissistic personality disorder, right? And like, one of the things I was talking to, like, my homie about a little bit when we were talking about this situation, I think one of the things that we need to start doing is we need to start doing mental health checkups with some of these leaders to see if things like egocentrism and narcissism exist, and if these individuals exhibit these characteristics, it wouldn't make them suitable for positions of leadership. So in case you're wondering what that is, like, egocentrism and narcissism are related concepts that both involve a heightened focus on oneself, but they manifest differently and they have distinct implications for a person's mental health. So when it comes to egocentrism, egocentrism refers to, like, things like cognitive biases, where individuals tend to view the world from their own perspective and struggle to understand or empathize with the viewpoints of others. Certainly in, like, Miss Henyard's case, it seems like she's really struggling to empathize with the viewpoints of other people outside of the administration, who may be questioning some of her, perceived shady practices. It is often observed in young children as they develop their sense of self and learn to distinguish between their own thoughts and thoughts of others. But, like I was saying, like, sometimes, like I always say in some of my other videos, when you have things that go on in your life that slows down or stops your development, then some of these behaviors or cognitive issues that exist in your young development can be carried over into older development. So while egocentrism is considered a normal stage of development, excessive, it's when it becomes excessive. Excessive egocentric tendencies in adulthood can lead us to difficulties in relationships, communication, and social interactions. And it can also contribute to feelings of loneliness, isolation, and a lack of emotional connection to others. I mean, I don't know, if Miss Henyard is experiencing excessive egocentric tendencies, but it does seem like there is a lack of empathy, and there's a lack of understanding outside of herself for how her decision making, may be playing a role in the impact, on the people that she's supposed to be serving. So let's talk a little bit about narcissism. Narcissism, on the other hand, is a personality trait, and narcissism is a personality trait characterized by a grandiose sense of entitlement. Kind of brings me back to when she was playing that "Bitch Better Have My Money" song a little bit, dressed up like Nino Brown. Like, listen, like you're still an employee. You're not entitled to anything. So like, why are you handling this situation? Like, I don't know, like this is a personalized situation, and even in personalized situations, it's probably not healthy to be getting all hostile and aggressive with people. But nonetheless, so a sense of entitlement and a constant need for admiration and validation. So I had another interesting, could be potential fact about this situation is that, like, there's a lot of things that, the mayor is accused of doing, like with funneling these charities in her name, super mayor hashtags. It seems like, she's very, absorbed with all of these things, and what that she's doing, whether it be her charities or different initiatives that she's a part of. But it seems like a lot of this is just food for her ego. That's what they're trying to make it seem like. I don't know if it is, but it seems like a lot of this, serves as food for her ego. I don't know, to maybe help her feel validated, and to help her make her feel good about herself. There was one report that she also has a criminal record, or she was arrested, a couple of years before becoming the mayor, for breaking into cars. So I can see how, like, maybe, you get to a point where you recover and you make it, but sometimes you can get drunk with power and you can start doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, doing a whole bunch of grandiose stuff to feel validated, and to feel good, and to feel secure within your situation. So individuals that give you all a little bit more education about this, they have a constant need for admiration, validation, and attention. Individuals with narcissism. Individuals with narcissistic traits often have an exaggerated sense of self-importance, and they may exploit others to achieve their own goals. So, there was a report of her funneling $10,000 into her charity, and she used the charity money to go to Las Vegas and party and rent expensive hotel rooms. I mean, I think that's a prime example of exploiting others to achieve their own goals. So while some level of narcissism is common in the general population, narcissistic personality disorder is diagnosed when these traits significantly impair functioning in relationships. So the relationship between egocentrism and narcissism lies in their shared focus on the self. Both involve a preoccupation with one's own needs, desires, and perspective, often at the expense of others. So that's part of what we're seeing a little bit, right, y'all? Ain't it crazy? We're seeing how these politicians, whether it be people like, Tiffany Henyard, whether it be people like possibly Mitch McConnell, or, I don't even really want to get too deep into, because it's not really about parties, because I see whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican, I see a lot of politicians who are just simply preoccupied with their own needs, their own desires, and their own perspectives, and they don't care about how this is at the expense of others, how this is at the expense of taxpayers who voted them into office. So, narcissism, often encompasses broader personality traits and behaviors, whereas egocentrism primarily reflects a cognitive biases in how individuals perceive and interact with the world. So, I know we've been talking a little bit about, mostly Tiffany Henyard. I mentioned Mitch McConnell. I'm not going to mention any more, politicians. And I've been talking a little bit about, like, how, a lot of these politicians, if we go, if we look at it broadly, a lot of these politicians simply just seem to have some very serious and significant ego and narcissistic traits that are really tearing down the community, because the focus is on them. I'm the best this, I'm the best that. The focus is on, oh, this is my policy, a whole bunch of stuff that don't really matter. and it's not really on what are the best things that's going to be right for the American people. So in terms of mental health, one of the things that I think we got to be mindful of when we think about, our legislators is that excessive egocentrism can hinder interpersonal relationships and lead to feelings of alienation and disconnection from others. It may also contribute to difficulties in understanding and regulating emotions, as individuals may struggle to empathize with other people's experiences. However, egocentrism alone is not typically considered a diagnosable mental health condition. However, in contrast, narcissism can have a more significant implications for mental health, particularly, when it manifests as narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder is associated with a range of negative outcomes, including interpersonal conflicts, difficulties maintaining stable relationships, and impairments in occupational and social functioning. Impairments in occupational and social functioning. Do we really want people with serious ego, related difficulties, serious personality traits, to be responsible for making these decisions that impact all of our lives, when it's a potential for them to have impairments in occupational and social functioning? Individuals with narcissistic personality disorder may also experience co-occurring mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and substance use disorders, but they'll never tell us that. So overall, while both egocentrism and narcissism, involve a heightened focus on the self, narcissism seems to be a little bit more, of a problem, because narcissism is a more complex personality trait with broader implications for mental health and interpersonal functioning. So recognizing and addressing maladaptive narcissistic traits can be important for individuals seeking to improve their mental well-being and cultivate healthier relationships. So, for us, for some of us anyway, we'll definitely be aware of how those things are showing up, and when it's causing, impairments in our functioning, when it's causing, impairments with relationships, when it's causing, difficulties with occupational function and social functioning, we can be more aware now that we've shared this information, and we've identified what some of these traits mean. We can be aware of how this thing exists and get some help. Go see a therapist, go see a psychiatrist, go see a psychologist, go see a counselor, and get some support to be able to work through it. But as it relates to our leaders, when we notice these things are going on, I don't know, I think we just got to start calling it out and demanding change, demanding that these people get support. Moreover, demand that these people not be in these positions, because we deserve to be led by people who can behave in an ethical, moral, and clear-cut way that's going to do the things that are going to be with what is within the best interest of the community. So that's all I have to say today. One of my, my homies reached out to me, was like, hey, what do you think about the Tiffany Henyard situation in the town of Dolton in Chicago? And those are my thoughts on it. Those are my honest thoughts. Like, I think it could be, some egocentrism going on. I think it could be some narcissism going on. And I think, some of those things can lead to somebody being, drunk with power, lacking of self-awareness, and lacking of emotional intelligence, and that's driving them to have these dysfunctions in their social and occupational functioning. So, thank you for checking in today. This is another, really good episode of Building Blocks for Mental Health. Hey, you tell me what you think, right? I'm not the end all be all. I don't know anything. So Tell me what you know about the Tiffany Henyard situation. What do you think it is? Do you think that it does, what I'm suggesting, that it's possible that it has something to do with some mental health related issues? Or I don't know, do you think it's a byproduct of her environment or people enabling her behavior? Or do you think it has much more to just do with her character? I would love to hear your thoughts on it, and so that we can all share this information, and we can all continue to foster awareness. And as always, like I always say, as we can always just use all of the information shared on this platform to continue to build into becoming the best versions of yourselves. So, okay, this concludes another discussion. Hey, if you did not hit that subscribe button, you need to go all the way up to the top of that screen. Come on. Don't you click away. You go ahead and you go up to the top of that screen and you hit that subscribe button. All right, thank you, my man, my girl, there. Because when you hit the subscribe button, that's what keeps you in the mix. That's what keeps you getting access to all of this information that we are sharing to foster awareness. And to my repeat viewers, thank you again for continuing to check in. Don't forget to share this information, even if you don't think that it is helpful to you. If you think that it is helpful in general, share. All right, this is Jermaine Wright, your LPC, checking in. Then I'm checking out. I'll see you soon.